How you are of service. Greetings, we are the Arcturian Council, and we are pleased to connect with all of you. There has been a tendency amongst those of you who are awakened to consider yourselves to be more responsible for others than you are responsible for your own well-being. You have demonstrated that you are, by and large, the most compassionate, caring, giving people on the planet. Now, of course, there are those who are caring, giving, kind, compassionate, loving, who are, by the definition of most, unawakened. And there are awakened beings who are quite selfish. But for the most part, you all feel an obligation to help, an obligation to be of service, and a calling to help others awaken. So you often find yourself wanting to know how it is that you can contribute more. The answer to that question is always right in front of you. You can contribute more by looking within yourself for what it is that you are still holding judgment towards. You can look at the areas of your life where you know you have work to do. There is always room for more forgiveness, more acceptance, and more unconditional love for those who you can see are working to separate and manipulate. If each one of you takes the time necessary to process and integrate what is going on within you, then you will notice a shift in the collective as well. But instead, when most of you are doing is attempting to shake others awake, or you are doing for others what you believe they cannot do for themselves, you must believe in the ability of your fellow humans to wake up on their own and to create the realities that are most service to them. What you give your fellow humans that is most valuable is your unconditional love, your compassion, and your belief in the good inside of them. When you allow others to be where they are and to evolve at their own pace, you do them more good than you know. Loving your oppressors. We are surprised by humanity every single time we look upon you. There is no shortage of love, compassion, and kindness in your world, in spite of the fact that you have all been oppressed for millions of years. You have not lost faith, and you have not lost hope, and you have found strength where it seemed there was none to be found. You have persevered through the darkest of times, and we are pleasantly surprised to see that humanity is still making life on planet Earth as pleasant and enjoyable as you can. The more of you who awaken, the more recognition there is that there are forces who are keeping humanity at a manageable level. There are more and more of you who are awakened to the fact that you have been under the control of certain nefarious groups and that they have the ability to silence people who want to expose them. And so what can you do once you recognize that you are being oppressed? You are being kept down, and you cannot oppose the ones who are doing it by exposing them. And you certainly cannot win by force because they have technology that far exceeds what is available to most humans. Again, we are going to ask you to do the unimaginable here, the unthinkable. We are suggesting that you do the only thing that will keep you in a higher frequency range. We are asking you to love your oppressors, because as you hold that higher frequency, you make yourself invisible to them. It is through fear that they manipulate and control. Your love and your compassion for each other must extend to them in order to disarm them. There are those working on the side of the dark who can be saved, but it will take a tremendous amount of light to do it, and that is where all of you come in. Freedom from contractual obligations. You have arrived at a very important point in your evolutionary history. You have arrived at a point where you no longer need to think about contracts and blueprints and agreements. If you are living something that is a result of one of these pre-incarnational choices, the truth is that you no longer need to live it. If you are living something out of a sense of obligation or guilt because you believe that you've made a pre-incarnational choice about it, then we hereby release you from that contract. We want you to understand how free you really are. Freedom really is a choice and a state of being. It is one that presents itself to you every day, but you sometimes choose to ignore it and instead get sucked into habitual thoughts, words, and actions. The belief that certain circumstances were preordained has served you up until this point, because that has been the case at one time or another in your lives. But now the time is different. The energies are different. The energies around you now are about liberating you from karmic cycles. And so we suggest that you reach for that knowing within yourself. We suggest that you reach for what resonates about this transmission, and we suggest that you choose freedom. Choose to be free from anything that feels binding or limiting in any way. Free yourselves from these obligations that you sometimes feel compelled to work within and stay within. The mission and purpose of your life is yours to determine for yourself. You have made it this far on your journey, and that means you are entitled to make decisions for yourselves. You are free from contractual obligations, and you can start living that way as soon as you like. We are so thrilled to offer you this transmission and free you of the burdensome thoughts around being in a pre-birth agreement that you somehow obligated to stick with. We want to grant you your freedom, but in truth, you have given it to yourselves. Take it. Your desire to be good. You have the propensity towards good, towards doing the right thing. You have an innate desire to be good, and that is because when you are doing something that aligns you with Source, you feel powerful, you feel love, and you feel that connection to where you are from. You come from Source, and Source is unconditional love. Everything else that you see being played out on your world, between individuals, between nations, between groups, is just to get you to experience the good that you are. It's not a test. You don't have to pass the test in order to ascend or to have eternal life. You get to experience the goodness of who you really are. That's the point of being on planet Earth, experiencing all of the trials and tribulations and feeling those emotions. If you can do all of that and still feel good about yourself and about your actions, then you will have moved past the illusions that there is anything but good, that there is anything but light, and that there is anything but love. And then you will know that you have succeeded in your mission to know yourself as you truly are. That is a primary mission for all beings, no matter who they are. The mission is always the same, whether you are human, animal, or extraterrestrial. You all want to know yourselves as you truly are, and you truly are good. You truly are fearless, and you truly are love. So this illusion that you participate in gives you the opportunity to feel what it's like to go against your true nature. Because when you do, you have the prodigal son experience of returning home to who you really are. And that movement from feeling separate to feeling one with Source is the ultimate experience. It's what all of this is about, and it's all worth it. Community, unity, and the collective. We have established a sense of unity among all in our collective, and that unity has brought us closer to other collectives, councils, and beings of light and love. When we stop seeing ourselves as individuals and start to feel the harmony that comes from knowing ourselves as a collective, everything becomes easier. Imagine how much easier things would be on planet Earth if you worked together instead of always competing. Collaboration is the way of the future. It is the fifth dimensional way. When you connect with others who have similar interests or similar beliefs, you feel better. You feel more whole and complete. You then want to extend the feeling out to include others. You will benefit greatly from including others in your sense of community, even those you disagree with, even those who do things that you would never do and say things that you would never say. The sooner you start to navigate through your life with the knowing that those individuals are a part of your community, the easier you will make things on yourself as you shift your consciousness. The shift doesn't have to be hard. It can be done with ease. But a big part of that is going to be creating the unity that you want to create, the unity that is necessary to see yourselves as a collective. You don't need to agree with everyone in order to acknowledge them. You can give others the free will that Source has granted them, and you can accept them and love them unconditionally. This is something that you are destined to do, so why not do it now? Do it now while the world around you seems so bitterly polarized, and see how much easier your life gets. See how much progress you can make just by including one more person in your sense of unity, your sense of being a collective right here and right now. Be yourself. It is the perfect time for you to express yourself as you know yourself to truly be. What the world needs now more than anything else is authentic human beings. You need more examples of your genuine nature to inspire others and to give others the opportunity to see yourself. You see, when you are true to yourself, you are more good to your fellow humans than when you pretend to be what you think you're supposed to be. Even if what you think you are supposed to be is someone who does whatever he or she can to be of service, you are not helping anyone by pretending. And you are most of the service when you recognize that at times you need to just chill out. You need to honor yourself so that others can follow your example. If you are going to create a new earth where everyone is respected, acknowledged, honored, and appreciated, and where all are treated equally, then that earth must have room for everyone as they truly are. Now, we are not specifically talking about pretending to be someone or something to impress other humans. We are also talking about the need that some of you feel to be perfect spiritual persons. To be the perfect new ager. To be awakened and enlightened means to be accepting of all parts of yourself. It does not mean that you have to do everything that you think a spiritual and awakened person does. So let yourself off the hook, be kind to yourself, and honor your needs and desires in the moment. because that is the version of you that will be of the most service to others who need permission to be themselves as well. You grant each other that permission when you recognize that who you are as individuals is unique. It does not have to fit into some preordained version of what being spiritual and awakened means. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you. End of Chapter 6.